right, Cedric Hill here, your city manager, right back at you, interviewing Mr. John Allen today. The incredible. I've learned so much today, and you're talking about someone who's made a tremendous impact, and I just want you to take some time to tell your story.
Well, we're in Talladega, and 25 years ago, I started a business from Alexander City that has a high emphasis on historic restoration and preservation in metal. This area is known for its metal and foundries, and it's atypical from the Vulcan statue that stands over Birmingham. Those industries surrounded that region, and we had cast iron industry there that made cast iron pipe. And Pittsburgh had Carnegie Steel, and they moved their production facilities and broke out geographically to start feeding the South with steel, and they moved to Birmingham. And the reason they came to Birmingham is because the hills around Birmingham were covered with very clean, high temperature burning coke. That's part of the process of melting steel. And so all these artisans came from that, and they built the old foundry downtown, Sloss Furnace. That's atypical of what Birmingham looked like around the 1915s, 20s. And so the product came out of these foundries. And so satellite companies evolved and moved from Birmingham, and you have foundries here in Talladega. I think you have 2 or 3 operating right now. And so I moved to Talladega. Originally, my partner was Ray Robbins, who owns Talladega Foundry. Nice man. I think his daughter runs it now. Ray and I became partners. I moved to Talladega. I landed a large job for the city of Chicago, and we hired about 12 people, and we started business in Talladega, and we've been here for 25 years. We like it here. It's safe. It's very, very positive about business as far as finding employees. We don't have a problem finding employees. We pay fair wages, but we're non-union. Our employees work with their hands, and they have an artistic flair to them, and through our training processes, we've been able to work on landmark buildings throughout the country, specifically in Detroit, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. And you're the first city representative that's come to see me without an audit or a license that we don't have. But it's been very positive meeting you and your team. It's exciting.
Wow.
And I wish it would have happened earlier, but here we are.
It's never too late.
Got to start somewhere.
Got to start. So why Talladega, and why stay in Talladega?
Well, the good question. Why Talladega was the foundry. My partner owned Talladega Foundry right downtown by the hospital. That's originally why I came. And then when he and I saw the business, both of us could not stay in it. Because the money, I had to have a certain amount because it was my only job. He had to have a certain amount, and we both had an amicable split. And he agreed to let me keep the business, and we moved it here. We were the first company to build here in this industrial park.
Wow.
And so we had a vision with Pusa Electric. They developed this business park, and so we were the first one to build here, and they were excited about it. They gave us a good deal. It's been safe. It's been clean. Our workers are mostly from here and Clay County. It's been very positive.
You mind telling us about some of your big projects?
Well, the largest is the United States Capitol restoration, and that was started in 2015 and ended in end of 2017, to where we took and trained people from here in a proprietary process called metal stitching, and it allowed us to repair metal without welding, and that's a long story that I could tell you about later. And we used that process on the dome of the Capitol, and the Capitol dome is all iron. It looks like stone, but it's iron. It's cast iron, the same material that the Vulcan statue is made from. So it was built in 1860 to 1865 during the Civil War. Our technicians were trained here. It cost us $5,000 a person to train them to do this process. It's a process that came from the Navy, and the Navy would use it on the hulls of their ships, and it was a way to repair metal in a closed environment without using flame. So flame sparks, explosions, so this is a non-invasive process that we did not develop, but they taught us how to do it.
And you're saying you had employees from
Here.
Alabama
Yeah.
did the capital.
Well, we were part of a very large team. Our part was as a subcontractor to a very, very large company called Turner Construction. Our part was the historic metal restoration. There were other parts like wood restoration, window restoration that we were not involved in. But our part, that's why the project happened, because the cast iron parts were falling off the building. So we were able, through architects and the processes that we had learned before, to do that project. Very proud of that. That's our biggest project today. But we've done a lot of work in Chicago and New York, and Detroit now is our major market. That would be Detroit.
What do you see as your vision going forward for the city of Talladega?
Well, we've talked about that. I think, and traveled a lot, and I have an apartment in downtown Detroit. Our company has an apartment in downtown New York City. We had housing in downtown Washington, D.C., so we have lived in different areas and see what works and what doesn't. As you and I were discussing, first of all, thank you for coming out here. We sell nothing in Alabama, actually, so therefore we don't market, but there's not a lot of restoration here in metal in the middle of Talladega, honestly, but if there is, we would work on it. But what I see here for Talladega is it's an affordable city, and it's a good place for business. Like you can buy land very inexpensively. You have vacant buildings that are available. You have you're within a stone's throw of Birmingham. You're an hour. It takes me 1 hour and 30 minutes to park my car at the Atlanta airport from here. That has value. And my clients now will fly to Atlanta. They can come here and meet for 4 or 5 hours, see what we're doing for them, fly back out at night, and it's good. And just geographically, it's so well located. You can get very affordable housing here, very affordable. And to me, combined with getting the school system wherever a school system needs to be, it's the same problems everywhere in America. The school systems, whatever that vision is, has to work concurrently with business. It has to, because not only can you move here, you have to have some health care, which you're close enough to UAB, which is the 8th largest hospital system now in the country. You're close enough to get there. You have local people here that are more than capable, but you have to have an environment that's safe, that's clean, and has an educational system that you don't mind sending your children to, and you know it's going to be safe. And secondly, you know they're going to get a decent education. And then somewhere to live, work, and play. And you have the lake. There's just a lot here. It's a very, very affordable city for business and personally living here.
And lastly, would you like to speak on the vision of your company going forward?
The vision of our company, we are constantly looking for ways to expand our market share, and our name recognition has propelled us to some larger jobs now to where we have no marketing budget. We don't have any marketing budget other than a website. And fortunately, the phone doesn't ring every day with orders because we don't have a product. You tell us what you want. The vision for Allen Architectural is we're going to tell America what you want. We're going to hire some designers. We're going to do some product development. We're going to say, Allen, Talladega, you need to buy it because of our experience. And we feel we can do that, but that's my long-range plan.
Can you believe all this time this has been right here in our back door, the city of Talladega? And I've only been on board 7 months, but I've never been prouder to be the city manager of Talladega with this amount of accomplishments from Mr. John Allen and his team. I thank you.
Not a
for your
problem,
time.
and this is the start of something good, I hope, for all of us.
Yes, sir.
Our workers and the families that live here, it's very important that they have a good place to live, and so far they like it here. We don't have much turnover.
Once again, I just love to thank you, and this is a great start to us really bringing a sense of pride back to the city of Talladega.
Good. I want to give you something for the city, and it's an architectural heirloom from the United States Capitol. This is an original piece that we removed from the Capitol that had been cracked, and that's what was going on with the dome. It was cracking. Therefore, we had to repair these cracks. We want to give this to you. It's an original piece. There's only been 3 given.
Absolutely amazing.
And hopefully you'll put it somewhere that can inspire people. But this was put up by Lincoln in 1860 to 1865. And now we were able to keep the heritage of the U.S. Capitol alive and well
Absolutely amazing.
for another 100 years.
I'm going to inspire my son to be an architect.
There you go. We need some architects.